Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This time I'm doing something a little special. A full collection of all of my Luigi's Mansion videos compiled into one spooky showcase. We'll be exploring every Easter egg and secret hidden across all three of the Luigi Mansion games, from hidden songs to clever movie references you might have missed. Oh, and before we dive in, I'm also doing a Mario Kart World giveaway. All you have to do is click the link in the description and make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss out. Well, with all that being said, let's jump scare right into it. The first Easter egg we're going to be taking a look at is actually before we even start up the game. If we pay really close attention to the message at the top of the screen, you can notice it says "Welcome to your mansion." However, if you keep watching it, you will notice the Y in yours disappears. So now the message reads, "Welcome to our mansion." However, it doesn't end here. If you copy one of your files, it then states, "More files means more fear." And if you happen to delete a file, the message will change to, "You can erase the files, but not the fear." And lastly, if you open up the quit menu, a message will pop up stating that you will be back. And here's a little fun detail that I didn't really catch until somebody pointed it out. So in the English version of the game, the professor's name is Egad. The words "egad" is actually an expression of surprise, which fits the game pretty well, seeing as how we're dealing with ghosts. I really feel like I don't need to say this, but I'm going to anyways. The Game Boy Horror is an obvious reference to a real-life Game Boy. Before we actually jump into the depths of the mansion, let's de-rust our ghosting skills. I mean, this game did come out 20 years ago, so some practice is due. Let's head into Egad's laboratory and choose the training option. The controls will pop up on screen. However, if we wait a few minutes, we can hear the famous 19-note melody, Totaka's song. This song has been hidden in almost every single game Totaka has been a part of, and Luigi's Mansion is no exception. And here's something subtle, but really cool for longtime fans. Whenever you talk to a Toad in Luigi's Mansion, listen closely to the little jingle that plays. Does it sound familiar? That's because it's almost identical to the same sound that you hear when talking to Toads in Super Mario 64. Here's a secret that I just found out about. After you chase down the butler and you suck him up, pull out your Game Boy Horror and snap a picture of the mouse hole over here. It warps you into this hidden room loaded with treasure. And a little bit more of an obvious Easter egg is while you're in the music room, if you listen closely, you might recognize some of the tunes coming from the instruments. Each one plays a different part of the melody, and if you trigger them all, the song comes to life. If you visit King Boo before defeating all the main bosses or ghosts in the game, he will say the following line: "I will not give up my favorite decoration. I like Mario just where he is." Star Wars nerds will know this line anywhere. It's when Han Solo is trapped by Jabba the Hutt.
We're doomed.
피장 왕지 kohta. Ang nanni tukjanki turoi. Solo thotuma jaya.
About halfway through the game, you'll run into the twins' room. The twins' names are Henry and Orville, one driving an airplane and the other driving a car. The two names of these twins are a reference to Harry Fordman, who was the founder of Ford Motor Cars, and Orville Wright, who helped to develop the first airplane. And lastly, I'm going to talk about the infamous Luigi's shadow. Some people think that during this cutscene, you can see Luigi hanging himself. Some people think that this is Nintendo sneaking this in, but others think that it's a bug with the lighting of the game. What do you guys think? Do you think Nintendo would sneak something like that into their games? Well, let me know down below in the comments. When we first see Luigi's house in Luigi's Mansion 2, it's actually the D-rank mansion from the end of Luigi's Mansion 1. You could say that this D-rank mansion is canonically the true ending, showing off how his last adventure left off. If you look closely during the intro cutscene, you can spot the map Luigi got from the first game hanging in the background. Maybe he kept it as a little souvenir, or perhaps a quiet reminder of where his spooky journey began. And if we continue letting this scene play out, when Egad talks to Luigi and suddenly disrupts his TV, it's a clever nod to the classic horror movie Poltergeist, where a ghost famously manipulates the TV's television to communicate with them. It's a subtle cinematic touch that sets the tone for the spooky adventure ahead. And once you start the first mission, Egad will give you the dual scream, which is an obvious reference to the original Nintendo DS. Later on, when you approach the first mansion, Egad will call Luigi and mentions how he lowered the brightness on the dual screen to make the battery last longer. He's poking fun at the DS's notoriously short battery life, which only lasted 5 to 8 hours on the brightest setting. During the first mission, when you run into the greenie in the shower, listen closely. You might catch a familiar tune humming in the background. And later on, during the final mission of this mansion, the elevator music isn't just any tune. If you listen carefully, you can hear the theme from Mario Strikers Charged.
Uh-oh.
In the first level of the old Clockworks, when you enter the warehouse and pick up and unravel the red thread all the way at the far right, a boo will pop out. His name is Combuter, and he says the following binary. For any of you nerds out there, that's actually binary for the word boo. In the treacherous mansion, the ghosts are busy putting together their very own Frankenstein. It's a delightfully spooky scene, full of humor, mischief, and even showing you that the ghosts like to have a little fun while haunting the mansions. And within that same mansion, some of the greenies are wearing crazy Kambalaya tiki masks, a clever nod to Donkey Kong Country Returns that Nintendo fans will definitely appreciate. Luigi is full of so much personality. When you first start up the game and press the D-pad, he says hello in a few different ways.
Hello? Yoo-hoo! Hello?
However, after beating the game and pressing the D-pad again, it makes him call out Mario, just like he did in the original game. A charming callback for longtime Luigi's Mansion fans.
Mario? 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 Mario?
If you place Luigi under any flowing water, he'll take off his hat and start rubbing under his arms like he's taking a quick shower. The game also has some hidden patterns. The first letter of each mansion actually spells out the word ghost. Even better, each mansion is home to one of the 5 possessor ghosts, and the first letter of each of their names also spell out the word ghost. A very clever yet spooky little detail. In co-op mode, the Fright Night ghost description adds a bit of humor. It says he was searching for a kidnapped princess, but sadly she was in another castle. It's a playful nod to Toad's famous line from the original Mario games. And finally, if you've ever noticed the vacuum that Luigi's using, you'll notice that he's using the Poltergeist 5000. Well, in the first Luigi's Mansion game, he was using the Poltergeist 3000. But what happened to the Poltergeist 4000? Well, turns out it's hiding in Mario Kart DS. A fun little connection to all of the different versions of this vacuum. In the beginning of the game, if you stand next to the different Mario characters, you can hear different Mario tunes.
Hey, bro. Yum.
While you're in the elevator, listen closely to Luigi. After standing on the floor for a little bit and not moving much, he will hum a tune that is very similar to the main theme of this game. When meeting King Boo for the first time, he says Mario's catchphrase, "It's-a me, King Boo." On floor 2, the gift shop level, you can spot a few familiar faces, like King Boo and a few other ghosts you may see in Luigi's Mansion 2, or even Luigi's Mansion 3. However, one character that you can encounter that you won't find in any of the Luigi's Mansion games is Piranha Plant. After escorting Professor Egad to the basement, he will give Luigi the Virtual Boo, which is referencing Nintendo's failed console, the Virtual Boy. Additionally, this is a reoccurring Easter egg, as in the original Luigi's Mansion, Egad gave Luigi the Game Boy Horror, and in Luigi's Mansion 2, he gave Luigi an original Nintendo DS. Speaking of Professor Egad, while escorting him, if you flash the light into his face, he'll make a bunch of different poses. And something similar enough, after rescuing toads, you can give them little handshakes. On floor 11, the Tower of Cards looks like the Triforce. And in the hallway, the carpet has the same design as the movie The Shining. And underneath that carpet, that floor has the same pattern as the show Twin Peaks. On B2, you can find many paper boats dropping down into the sewers, a possible reference to the movie It. On floor 8, there is a ton of Easter eggs and secrets, so let's start off with a few of the more obvious ones. There is a scene that is a direct reference to The Ring when the ghost girl pops out of the well. An obvious reference to Godzilla when you're fighting the ghost in the Godzilla suit. And lastly, a reference to E.T. And later on in that level, you can find posters to the developers' previous games, such as Luigi's Mansion 2, Mario Strikers, and Punch-Out! And if you knock down the Punch-Out! Picture, you can get Little Mac's gloves. If you take a closer look at the pizza boxes, it says since 1982, which is when the first Mario game came out. On floor 14, if you walk to the left side and spin the discs that are on the wall, a brick block will pop out, and you can jump and hit the brick blocks just like you did in the original Mario games to get a couple coins. On one of the last floors in the game, there's a room where you can spin the middle of the floor around. At one point, while you're spinning the floor, you can find a replica of the mansion and the Dark Moon from Luigi's Mansion 2: Dark Moon. Later on in the game, when you get to the gym area, you can fight a red ghost wearing green boxing gloves. Green gloves in a gym? Possibly another reference to Little Mac in the Punch-Out! Series. Well, that's about all I got for you guys today. Which Easter egg surprised you the most? Or was there one that you've never noticed before? Let me know down below in the comments, as I love reading your thoughts. And don't forget to enter the Mario Kart World giveaway and hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed that video. Well, with all that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful day today.